Hi, and welcome back to the JagCorner. I'm Will Thorup. Today, well, first off, you're going to have to excuse me feeling a little bit under the weather. Not sure what it is. It could be something more serious, but it also could just be a cold. It's been sitting down in my throat for like the last week, and now it's moving up into my sinuses. And so if I sound a bit weird, that's why. Um, but yeah, if this is your first time here, I'm Will Thorup. I'm an artist and a developer for BitJag, which is our developer name under JagCorner. Um, and here at the JagCorner, we talk about the Atari Jaguar, of course, other Atari-related stuff, homebrew development, retro games, and anything else we like to talk about. Right now, it's just me. And today we're going to be doing some development on Crescent Memories, which let me switch over to that here really quick. I am without my remote for OBS this morning for some reason. I could not get that to work, so my transitions might be a bit slow today. If you're in the chat, let me know how the audio is. I've been having some trouble with that for the last few streams, so hopefully I got it pretty much ironed out. I think I do this time. Here, let me feel like my microphone can be just a bit louder. There we go. Yeah, so Crescent Memories. If you haven't been to the website, you should go check it out. I don't update it as often as I should, but it does look nice. I recently revamped the entire website just to kind of put store old stuff away and bring focus to the stuff I'm currently working on. But this is the Crescent Memories page. Split into 3 sections for the 3 games that are included in the entire compilation. So we have Flappy McFur version 2.0. That may be renamed to like Remix or Redux or something like that. We'll see. You can read about the game here. There's also, whenever I do a post about specific games, I'll post it here, or the compilation as a whole. We got Oddball, which is a Pong clone with a twist. Yeah, excuse me. I don't know how long I'll last this evening. We'll see. Maybe I'll just do a whole lot less talking. And then we have Audit Will Be Watching, which is what we'll be working on today. Give me just a second. There's one more thing I have to set up here. I actually can't see the chat right now, and I think somebody's already chatting. Let's see here. I gotta break this out, make it full screen. Sorry, I know there's somebody watching. Give me just a second. Make sure it's pointing at the right thing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, one more change. Pop out. Hi, welcome to the stream, Bullet21. I think this is your first time here. I don't recognize your name. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Hopefully this won't be too boring. It should be pretty good. Keep above. There we go. Okay. So yeah, we're going to be working on Crescent Memories today. Actually, something a bit special. I don't think I've revealed this publicly yet. I did a... let me go back to... let's switch over to this. In fact, you can kind of see it here in the code. Down here, I have something called Defragmenter, which is part of the game. So about 1.5 years ago, I was commissioned to make a small mini game for a dental group. Hopefully I've stripped out all their branding. I don't want to highlight them if I don't have to, because I haven't asked for their permission. But permission to highlight them. I've asked for their permission to take this game and include it in my own game. I have permission to do that. Anyways, there's a dental group. They do what are called anchors, which for new teeth, so artificial new teeth. And it's just, and I'll show you here in a second, but I incorporated in, I'm taking that and I am incorporating it as a mini game in Crescent Memories. So we're going to be just taking a look at that. It's been like 1.5 years since I've looked at this code. I know I got it into the game, so I have no idea what condition it's in. And so the first thing I have to do here is actually see which scene it shows up in. There's actually a few things we need to do here. Well, no, we'll worry about that in a second. So under cutscenes, pretty sure I have it. There should be, yeah, Act Defragmentor. It looks like, yep, I have the game in there. And then there is a case, looks like case 50 is the one we want to go to. Okay, so let's run code here really quick. I think I have everything working. Yesterday there was a lot of duct tape going on yesterday. I'm just making sure everything's working on OBS's end. It looks like everything's fine. Again, let me know if the audio isn't good. So that seems to be something I'm getting used to still. Okay, I will be watching. I have this cool debugger so I can select any scene in the game, and it works pretty well. In fact, we may go in and do some touch up on the code here, because right now I have to tap once for each number, and I would like to be able to scroll through numbers a little bit quicker. Oh, so it's still using the it's using a different palette. That's why the colors look weird. So that'll probably be the first thing in fact, maybe we'll just do that right now. Yeah, we can't even see that. So let's go and adjust that, and we can inject that really quick. So there's just one line of code, and I'm just going to copy and paste it from somewhere else. Mem copy, there it is. So we use a standard C function called memcopy, memory copy, and under our cutscenes we go to the defragmentor, and it's probably, oh, there's a main loop. Here it is. Here's the main loop, and right here at the top we're just gonna add its palette in, and you won't be able to see this, but I'm gonna be going to my file structure to make sure we have that palette. And make sure it's actually loaded into the game. Okay, so no, this is the wrong place. Programming, crescent memories. Audit will be watching. Graphics, gameplay. Oh, it's actually probably under cutscenes. Cutscenes, act, defragmentor, graphics. Yep, there they are. Okay, so I do have a palette file. We're just gonna, I know you're not seeing this right now, but that's okay, because now we're going to go to our data, graphics, audit will be watching. There should be a palette file somewhere here. Yeah, right there. Oh, I'm already loading it in. Huh. Let's do a search for this really quick. I must have been in the middle of it or something. Should it be showing up in that many places? Oddball, yeah, this isn't good. So I'm going to call this ink color palette, anchor color palette. And I'm going to make sure, let's see here, main color, yeah, we can't be using that because it's being used in all sorts of different places. I will be watching. Oh, so I am using it somewhere. Oh, I'm using it to do the fade. That's why it isn't working. So I need to go through and actually just adjust these so they say something else. And it's not going to work because we don't have an external reference to that little piece of data. Yeah, we're fine switching that. We're going to have to readjust all this in the future anyways. Okay, got that. Let's see. Title state. What is this referencing? Defrag functions, defrag graphics. Let's go take a look at that. I think I can just load it here if I'm not already doing it. Extern. Okay, these are different. I gotta go look at how that's referenced in other places as well. Phrase? Because I've already forgotten how to do it. Yeah, let's go take a look here. Shared. Small font. Audit will be watching. There should be another palette here. Rail, anchor title. Yeah, all's going well, Stage 1 boss. Thanks for joining. Well, almost all's well. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'm doing okay. Actually, this doesn't make any sense. Oh, here we go. Maybe if you scroll up, Will. Okay, let's just look this up. I've forgotten how to inject a palette, and so I'm gonna have to relearn that here. Oh, I'm just doing... Oh, okay, so I'm already doing it, technically. Maybe we're good to go. We may be good to go. Let's try building here really quick. Clear... Make... let's do this. Make clean... Clear... Clear, and make... Let's see what it says. Oh, that may have done the trick. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it again. Yeah, so Stage 1 boss, I'm actually, this morning for a couple hours, I'll be working on, I'm adding a mini game. I'm actually going to be adding at least a couple mini games to Audit Will Be Watching. I feel like the gameplay's a little bit shallow, and so, why isn't this, there it is. And so I built a mini game as a commission for a company that they were using at conferences, and so I built it in for the Jag, but they were just using an emulator with a Bluetooth controller or whatever to run it. It's a really simple game. You'll see it here in a second. There we go. The palette's working. Okay, and it was called Anchor Drop. Let me make sure you guys can see this. I don't think there's any audio in the game, so don't worry if you don't hear anything. Really simple game. It's kind of like a game you'd see, one of those cheap like mall arcade games, that's just sitting in the hallway. Anyways, it's a little tricky. You just drop these anchors, and if you hit a tooth, the timer goes down, or if you hit another anchor. But if you get it into the slots in the gums, you get time added to your counter, and you just try to go as long as possible. Ooh, that was close. Anyways, this is the game. And what we're going to do with Crescent Memories, so where this is going to be injected, so you have a robot, and the robot's purpose in the game is to fix this transponder so you can, when help comes, they actually can find you and pick you up. And right now, he only has one task, and that's repair the transponder. And so what I want to do to make the game, to give me another dimension in terms of difficulty, and to make the game so it isn't just running a menu, I'm adding this mini game to the robot where you have to defrag his hard drive before he can start repairing the transponder. So I call it defragmenting. I know that doesn't make much sense. It just sounds really cool. So I might keep it. I may switch the name to like where you're hacking the robot. Like maybe he just disagrees with helping you because that's not his main purpose or something. And so you're hacking him, so you're hacking his personality subroutines or something, so he'll actually help you rebuild the transponder. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Anyways, let me fail here so you can see what happens after. So once you hit 0, fades out, shows you how many teeth or successful anchor drops that you did. And so this screen and the main gameplay screen will be there. We'll probably be dropping, no, the title screen will still be there, but we'll be reworking. All the graphics are going to be reworked here. So this will, what I'm thinking is on the back of the robot there will be a monitor, and so this will start out, it'll be the monitor booting up, and then the game will play inside that monitor, essentially. We're not going to get as far as, well, we may be switching out some of the graphics here today, and so we'll be able to see that inside the program. But yeah, we should be good to go to do that. We got the palette in. There is one thing I want to do. Let me rebuild this so I can show you. And this doesn't have to do with what I just talked about, but I just realized it's something I want to do. Is on my debug screen here, I have to select the scene I want to go into. I can't hold up or down. In fact, I want to switch it to left and right. Right now it's up and down. To change that number, I want to switch that to left and right, and I want to be able to scroll through the numbers quickly. So if you hold it down, it advances one, and then after like a split second, it scrolls through the numbers quickly. So let's do that here really quickly. I'm checking OBS every once in a while because my remote isn't working, and so it's harder for me to keep an eye on everything. Yeah. Okay, so where we do that, I actually don't know where that is. It's been a while since I've built that debug screen, so got to figure out where that is. Let's do... It's here somewhere. Awesome, man. If only I knew the slightest bit of code. Oh, something like Jag Studio is still too intimidating. You know, I think Lawrence would be fine with me saying this. So I've actually been working with Lawrence to get Jag Studio working on Linux, and they have a script, a batch script in Windows that runs. I've actually ported that all over to Linux to just a shell script. That was easy. There were some things that were a bit harder, and so I've had the opportunity to do a little bit in Jag Studio, just debugging that script to make sure it works. And so it's really cool that you can use, as far as I know, you can use anything in the Raptor library in Assembler, C code, and Basic Plus, something like that. I'm not familiar with the basic end of things. So I imagine I've heard, and what I've seen with Basic, it's a little bit easier to learn than like C code and Assembler, obviously. And so if you're willing to do a little bit of, if you get a little bit of time to learn some Basic, it may be fairly easy to do some simple games. Like in a few afternoons, you might have something up and running. I don't know though. I haven't played around with it. That's just an assumption I'm making based off of experience. And so there it is. Debug scene select. Okay, we're actually going to switch really quick. Joypad right to go up. Joypad left. Okay, to do a scroll, I've done this once before, but I'm probably going to do it completely different this time. We're going to create a variable that just checks. It's our scroll timer. Let's see here. And we're going to set this to 20. What we want to do is here under the right and left, we need to do a check. If star exit back to title. Oh, cool. That's cool that I have that. In fact, we may add a little bit of... Oh, I already have it. Okay. Past Will did a decent job. So right now, it just advances. I have something that is keeping it from string copy update text box. It's probably this joy delay counter reset. What it does is when you press the button, it locks the controller. There's a little bit of code that actually makes, because naturally, if I didn't have this, what it would do is it would advance really, really quickly, and we don't want to do that. Oh, I have an advance for 10. We're going to get rid of that. We're not going to be worrying about that. Get rid of that. Like that. And so it does that. Yeah, we just need to run the counter down. So if it's doing this, what it will do is that, what did we call it? That scroll timer will count down. So minus minus. Oh, there's a little bit of a trick here. Scroll timer minus minus. I've only done this once before, so I'm kind of working through this right now in my head. Scroll timer minus minus if oh no, that's not going to work out of here. We just need to run the scroll timer down. And then outside, we got to do that for both our left and right. Like that. And then we do a check. Scroll through numbers. And we take this, we check which button we're pressing. In this case, it can be either. So we look at our joypad, and joypad, we'll do right first. If it's joypad right, so if we're pressing right, or I spelled joypad wrong. We're just going to copy this, like that, right or left. So if either of those buttons are being pressed, and, okay, so we got to wrap those in parentheses. So it's going to do that check first. So if it's right or left, and our scroll timer hits 0, and, oh, we got to do another check. We'll go to that. Scroll timer equals 0. Then we'll tell it to, I guess we could break these out. We should actually break these out. So we don't need to do this or, because we're going to do an if statement for both left and right. So for right, it's just going to do this here. We have to run this one more time. I got some repeating code here, so this could probably be cleaner, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We have to do another check too, but we'll do that here in just a second. And then we just do it for our left as well, which is making the number go down. And we replace the logic. It's doing the same thing as it would normally, but it's just going quickly. It's scrolling through the numbers really quickly. Okay, got that. So we need to do another check. You'll see here that when it's selecting the scene, so it's just advancing a number, and it's just making sure it doesn't go past 100. That's kind of arbitrary. What's more important is if we're going down, we don't want it to go into -1, because I can actually crash our program, because I think we use that number to look into an array as well. And in C, it's you obviously can't look at a negative point in an array. It's always going to be a positive number. And if you go negative, it'll point it to some random point in memory, I assume, which could potentially crash the program. And in my experience, it usually does. So selected scene. There was one more. Okay, I just have to do a check here. If we got to make sure our scroll timer doesn't go below 0. Scroll timer. If scroll timer is greater than or does not equal 0. Let's do that. We'll run that. There's one more thing we have to do. We have to figure out how to reset that scroll timer. And we're going to be messy about that too. But that's okay. It'll work. Scroll timer right there. Okay. So that'll make sure it doesn't go down to 0. We need to set the scroll timer once the button comes off. Oh, and there is a way to do that. cleverly, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is just do an else statement after each one of these. This should work. Scroll timer equals 20. We just set it back up. Oh no, we can't do that. I have to set that scroll timer again somehow. How do I do that? I may have to unify these. Yeah, I'm going to have to unify these. Okay, so we're actually going to be doing what I was doing before. So we're going to copy this. And we're going to do our OR again. Or so if we're doing left or right. And our scroll timer equals 0. We got to wrap these in parentheses. Yep, like that. We don't need to do the check for the scroll timer on these if statements. Get rid of this else. Turn this into an else if. So all an else if is it's a drop through. So it only, if this one fails, only if this one fails. So if we aren't pressing right, will it go to left? And hopefully this won't cause any problems. I don't think it will. And that's important because of this. If none of them are being pressed and the scroll timer equals 0 up here, we want it to only set the scroll timer to 0 once. We only want that to happen once, because if it's happening all the time, we'll never actually get to this case, or this will never be set. This will never be true. And so we only want that to happen once, and I think we need one more bracket, so let's add that. So that should do it. Scroll through numbers. If it's left or right. Oh, actually, we don't need any of that. We just need that. Because once it's 0, which happens when we first press it and we hold down left or right, it'll hit 0. And then it will jump into this and say, okay, are they holding left and right? Act accordingly to that. And so it'll just scroll really, really quick here. I probably still want a delay on this. This will probably scroll too fast, is my guess. And the way we can do that is, excuse me, sorry, I do have a cold, so if you're on headphones, I apologize. I might be doing, nose stuff. That sounds weird. Okay. I think we can just set the scroll timer to some small value, so there's a little bit of delay in the scroll. And we have to do that for each one of these. So, okay, I think we're good. Let's try building. Make sure I don't have any syntax errors. Hey, look at that, no syntax errors. Let's see if it works. It doesn't work. Scrolling still works, which is a good idea, which is good. Huh. Wonder why that isn't working. Scroll timer minus minus. If scroll timer does not equal 0, we're going to go down. It's gonna go down. Let's see here. Scene selected. Joy delay counter equals 0. Oh. It has to do with this reset because it's not actually staying in here. I think I need to rework this. because it's actually not hitting this as often as I think it is, I believe. And we can actually test that here really quick. Let me show you how the removers library uses the console. So we can actually open up a console. I think I have a place. An audit will be watching for that already. Void. No. Console. No, not there. Seems like I had a place for that. I have a text box debugger here, but I'd rather just use the game's console. Let's see here. Where else am I using that? I want to open a custom. No, not there. Custom console. There it is. I'm using it here. Flat main function. EEPROM custom. Oh no, it's just another place where I'm using the word custom console. Okay, they're all gonna have that, but console for debug. Where is this? That's oddball. I know there is a place where I've used it. There's open console. I need a custom console though. Give me a second. I have another program I know that I've used it in before. Let me source. Let's check this. Nope, not there. There's that. Where are you? There you are. Open custom console. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so here we're not going to do it at oddball, obviously. Close that, close that. We're going to do it at the top of audit will be watching. We're going to open it up right here. I believe this is our Y position. So let's set it at 200. And open console, we need a file. So there's a structure, I believe it's a structure anyways, called, or no, it's a type definition called console. And this, that should open up a console for us. And let's do fprintf, just a little piece of text console. No, let's just move into, I'm pretty sure this will work. So we're just gonna print it out here. We're just gonna update it every frame, which will slow things down a bit, but not too much. And %D, this is scroll timer equals a number, and we're gonna break the line each time we do that, and we're gonna have it pull the number from the scroll timer variable. That should work. Let's make sure it works. Did not like that. What did it not like? Oh, did I not? I didn't save that header file. There we go. It should work now. Nope, still didn't work. Console undeclared. Oh, I need to do it. Pull it from. I just need to do it up here. Should work. There we go. What I should do is we should modify this program so I don't have to do that menu at the beginning. There it is, scroll timer. It's full screen for some reason, which it shouldn't be, but it is working. And that number should be changing. but it's not. Open console. Let's set that back to 4. I actually need to look at the source here for that open custom console because I forgot what all those numbers are for. Jaguar source removers lib, and I'll open that up here so you guys can see this. Open. So we want to look at console and open custom console, and I just want to see what all those values are for our function. So if we search open custom console right here, we have our display, our XY position, IDX, I believe that's the ID and the color lookup table, the CLUT as it's called. The width, the height, okay, I did pick the wrong one. So it's actually the second number is what we need to modify right here down to 200, so it isn't covering up the rest of the screen. And our height is fine. I believe this is lines. Height. This is lines and this is columns. And so 4 is, I think, fine for what we're doing. Let's bump it. Let's bring it up a little bit higher just in case. Okay. But it wasn't working. We know that. Well, let's just check that so you guys can see it. I want you guys to see this. It's nice having this this console that Seb put into the removers library to debug variables and just see things changing. There we go. So now it's listening to the scroll timer every frame. Oh, look at that. And see, that's why it isn't working, because when I hold it down, it's not actually rolling down the scroll timer. And I think I know why. That's because we're resetting this joy delay counter every time. And so it's not actually doing that. So I got to think about this for a second. I'm not sure exactly how to do this. What I can do is I can do another if. Yeah, that's what we do. In fact, we can do it just right here. We do another check that just says, hey, is the player holding down the right and the left, right or left on the D-pad? And if that's the case, run the timer down, or run the scroll timer down, yeah. So, or left. And what's nice about that is now we can only repeat this code once, this if statement, like that. Yeah, just like that. And we got to make sure we pull it out of here. And that's nice because it keeps those functions what they were originally, so I don't need to modify those anymore. Or those if statements, not functions. Okay. Hey, look at that. It scrolls. We got that. And our delay's working too. Like we can go in and change that delay. So right now I think it's 3 or something on each one of those. Yeah, 3. So we can set it to like 10. And it will take almost 3 times as long. We may actually go modify our program so we jump into this part of the program a little bit quicker. Yeah, so now it's taking a lot longer to scroll through that. But I thought 3 was a good, at least for the emulator, is a good value. It probably needs to be a little bit, we need to increase that number a little bit if we were on real hardware. But right now what we can do is just work in the emulator. Everything, for the most part, there are some weird things once you start developing for the Jag and you're using the emulator a lot and real hardware to test your programs. First of all, there's a speed difference depending on your system. And even if you do have a really beefy system to run the emulator on, there's still a big speed difference, performance difference, frame rate difference between your program and the emulator versus hardware. The other thing is the emulator will just randomly crash sometimes. And that can be frustrating because you'll be working on a problem, that a complicated logic problem, just a complicated function or something. So you're used to it crashing, and then you'll get to a point where you're pretty sure everything's working, but then you'll still have a random crash every once in a while. And so if you aren't aware of that, what you'll do is you'll waste a ton of time debugging your code, not realizing that it isn't actually your code's fault. It's the emulator's fault. And so a good rule of thumb is if you feel confident in your code, you should move over to real hardware to test, to see if it will actually break. And you should be testing all your code on real hardware anyways, before committing to, oh yeah, this is probably solid code, because the emulator, Jaguar emulation it's still very rough around the edges, so can't rely on an emulator for Jag development. And that's probably the case for most consoles, I imagine. Things like the original Game Boy are probably a lot more steady because it's a simpler piece of hardware. People have been developing emulators for it for decades now, but Jaguar, there's literally 2 emulators out there. Project, what was it called? I can't remember what it's called. It was the one that came out for Windows a long time ago. Oh, Project Tempest. And then there's Virtual Jaguar, and then I think there's branches of Virtual Jaguar. There may be some other emulators out there. It seemed like there was one other emulator, but it was made back in the early 2000s and wasn't very good, but could be remembering wrong. Virtual Jaguar is about as good as it gets, for now. Hopefully that'll improve over time. I know there's some FPGA stuff going on Mister, and I've been really curious about that, but I don't have a Mister to actually test any of that on. And it would probably be hard to bridge that for quick development stuff. Okay, we're going to do one other thing before we move on to graphics. 7:43. Oh, this is good. We're almost at an hour. Is we are going to, and this is a couple streams ago, I wanted to set up my makefile so I wouldn't have to do this if I just wanted to be testing one game inside the larger program. But I do have a manual way of doing that. And so what we do is we go in, we actually pull out any of the source files we won't be testing for the other games. So in this case, there's all of Oddball's source files, and then Flappy McFur is right there. And then I have this section for shared source files, so I don't mess with those. Those right there. We can save that, and then we have to go rename a couple files, and this is why I don't like this process, is we have to rename this. We technically don't need to rename these, but what it does is it reduces the file size, and I do just a dot backup like that on Oddball and rename on Flappies. And what these files are, they just point to the data for assets like audio and visual assets, sprites, and things like that. And so by renaming these, what I'm doing is telling the makefile not to actually look at these and include all these assets. And it's like 1 megabyte, 2 megabytes worth of assets, and so it makes our program a lot smaller. And I have to do that here as well on the audio assets. And then after I do this, there is, oh whoops, I didn't want to do it on that one. Rename. The reason why I don't like this is I'm worried, and this shouldn't be a problem, but I'm worried that if I step away from programming this for like a month or something, and I leave the program in this state, I'm going to forget how to change it back so I can get everything, the whole program building again. But I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue now that I'm doing these regular live streams. So there's one other thing we have to do, is our Crescent Memories title screen. We basically just have to skip that whole thing. And I have set up some comment brackets or comment code here that's already set up for that technically. So that's good. And we're going to automatically select case 2, which is audit will be watching. We can do that. There's a variable right here, right there, 2. And we can comment out these 2 because they're not going to be in the program anymore. See, this is a lot of work. This is why I would like to set up the makefile to only build for a specific, which I don't even know if it's possible actually now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe I was heading towards a dead end. And we have to comment them out here as well. And that should just drop us right into Crescent Memories, or into audit we'll be watching. So let's go back over to our, we're already at our terminal. Try building that. It should build. It should just, it's going in automatically. You see our console box. There we go. So it's going into that automatically. That'll allow us to test things faster. We can actually make this even faster. So we can make it so it immediately goes into the scene selector. So the way we do that, I actually have a controller code to go into that already. But what we're going to do is we're going to just tell it to go in. We can just comment that out and set that to 1. So it just says it's true. We're going to the scene selector. Do it. And we'll never hit that again, I don't think, which is good. It'll always, oh, wait. Nope, can't do that. Let's see here. Scene selector. Yeah, we don't want that. What we can do is up here, game state to go. Oh, see, I have notes for myself. I've done this before. Okay, so we just need to set this to these values down here, like that. There we go. And that'll take us automatically to the debugger or the scene selector. And what we can do is we can change our selected scene immediately to 50 like that. So all we have to do is hit one button to go inside of it when we build our program, which should be good. Let me just make sure that that's updating. Yep. Okay, we're good. That should automatically go, see, and it has scene 50 selected, so when we hit that, it automatically goes there. Cool. That's what we want. Let's get rid of our open console function. And we have to go comment out our fprint as well, which is right here. In fact, we're just going to get rid of it. We don't need it anymore. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to graphics, which I don't know if I set up in OBS. So let me take a look. Let's do this. This is a little frustrating, actually. I don't have access to my OBS remote, so this is a bit harder to work with. I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to call this graphics. Our graphics scene, like that. And I am going to, why isn't that? There we go. Graphics, studio mode. I don't want you guys to see all this right now. This will just take me a second to switch over to, there we go. Okay. Oh, you guys saw that anyways. Okay, whatever. That's okay. Cool. So I think we're good to go. What I'm going to do is we're going to open up all of the graphics in Inkerdrop. Filled, not filled. Do we need that? Gum filled. Oh yeah. So we got to do two things here. We have to do open with GIMP. Open all those. Control on all of our graphics. Get these all big. Okay. So we can do this the easy way, the hard way. The hard way would be actually resizing things. We just need to go in and alter a lot of code, because I believe right now everything is packed in LZ77 compression. And so I really don't want to go and change a bunch of numbers, because that's going to be really boring on stream. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to work with our current graphics as they sit. Give me a second. Grab my pen here. And we need to take a look at our palette, because I imagine our palette is pretty terrible. Oh no, look at that. It's actually kind of a cool set of colors already. So we may work with that, with what we got already. And we can redo the colors later on if we don't like them. Why did I pick this palette? This palette is crazy. Maybe I wasn't entirely sure on what the colors were going to end up being for the game. And so I just like, okay, we'll do these crazy neon colors just so I have a lot of choices for that. And then I just used, the rest of the colors were just generated from, all the assets were done in 3D first. So I just created a bunch of objects and then rendered those out and then went in and touched things up. So hopefully I don't bump the camera here. I'm trying to set up my space for graphics. Okay. How do things look? Am I still on camera? I'm still on camera. Is my camera delayed? Nope, it's fine. Okay, we're not having that problem today. So actually first we're going to do our little anchor thing up here. What I was thinking is I kind of wanted, I want the graphics to look a little bit, I don't want them to look entirely vector. I kind of want them, if you know what Grid Runner is on the Atari ST, it's kind of this, gosh, what would you call that aesthetic? It's like 80s arcade, like early 80s, late 70s, early 80s arcade aesthetic. You have a lot of neon colors. There's a lot of lines being used, not a whole lot of texture. And so I'm kind of thinking of sticking with that. And we have our colors up here are actually really good for that. Let's see here, where are my tools? Set this to 1. So what I'm thinking, in fact, let's just prototype this really quick so you can kind of see what I'm thinking with what we have. So we have just this here. Again, I'm gonna check, yeah. I'll do that here really quick. There we go. So I was thinking about doing something like this and then doing just a big fill for, let's see if we can do this quickly. Just our threshold. There we go. Close enough. Oh, I forgot you. So that's what I'm thinking of, doing kind of a neon look like this, and we'd maybe add a glow, but we'd have to adjust the sizes of things. What we could do, I kind of like the idea of doing a slot that it goes over here like that. See what we have to work with. This isn't going to look too good on the current background, so maybe we'll change the background really quick. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to play around with this because I really don't know what I want these to look like at the end of the day. I'm gonna have to test out a few things and see if something kind of catches my eye. But we'll do our anchor here, or our calipers. In fact, let's go change our anchor right now. We want our anchor to be, we have all these pink colors, which are really interesting. Let's go ahead and just switch this out. Maybe I need to think about this for a second because we're defragmenting something. And so my original idea was, okay, we have this piece of software that what we're doing is we're taking blocks of data and we're inserting those back to where they should be, or into the empty spaces in our data. And so this is our anchor needs to look like a piece of data, or maybe a line of data. Maybe that's how we need to think of it. Maybe if we do a block like this with some sort of connecting node down here at the bottom. Like that. Just square this out. And have these filled with a maybe not so bright, yeah, like that. You know, in the end game, maybe we'll have a few different versions of this that we'll have, because what I'm thinking of is doing just kind of these little bits of data and making these kind of random, like this. And we'll have like 3 or 4 of these to represent some variety, so different pieces of data. Wasn't thinking about this. Yeah, like that. Yeah, something like that. Doing these 3 tall. And this will all change again. Yeah, I'm gonna have to space those out. And what I'm thinking about doing is I'll probably go do some research on like electronic diagrams and see how those might look. Kind of doing a Morse code thing with these longs and shorts. But yeah, so we have something like that as our anchor. It's kind of like a chip. Oh, that is something I could do. I could do something that represents like a circuit board. So instead of doing these lines like this, maybe we make these a bit bigger, like certain parts, so they represent like ICs. And then we draw lines between them like that. Maybe we do something like that, because that's it's more symbolic of a computer, and I think it would be slightly more recognizable. Like that, something like that. I kind of like the way this looks. Yeah. Maybe something like that. That kind of looks fun. Yeah, so I'm actually going to start saving these out. Let's go do our title screen. So let's try just keeping the grid. I like the grid that we have going on. I need to get rid of the title. We're gonna have to separate that out again. So let's do that just by yeah, doing that. There we go. Just right. Yeah, let's just copy this again. Copy, paste. Like that. Whoops. There we go. Let's try doing this first. Let's just try doing a hue saturation change. No, let's color invert it. Oh, that's kind of fun, huh? Let's make it, I don't know, let's try making a little bit more neon, maybe? Lightness. Because the grid is important, at least for gameplay, not necessarily for the title screen, so we may change that in the future. This doesn't look amazing, but it serves our purposes for now. Let's set this back to 0. Okay. Curves. Let's pull that up. There we go. That feels a bit better. Let's do that. I gotta figure out a font and everything for this too. I probably should have spent a little bit of time before streaming just to do that. We have this animation. Well, let's figure out the width on this. Image, configure grid, the width on each of our frames. Show grid. Where's show grid? There it is. Image, configure grid, and I know you guys can't see this either. Our vertical. Vertical is, I can actually see the height somewhere, 104. And we have to figure out our width. Our width, oh whoops, got to 104. It's 50. Oh, that is close, isn't it? 48. That's probably our frame width. We can actually see that in code. Let me jump back over to. Why is that showing up on both? Oh, darn it. Okay, I guess that's how I'm going to do this. We're going to switch this back to Kate. Kate, where are you? This is going to be a bit of a pain. There it is. Switch this back over to Kate. I may change that here in just a second. Save that. So we are looking at our defragmenter action, and we need to go to the title state like that, and there's going to be a graphic in here. It's been a long time since I've been in here, so sprite animate anchor title, that's probably it right there. So 104 by 96, that isn't correct. Fade down palette, fade everything. It says it's 96. Interesting. Where am I unpacking that? It's probably in here somewhere. Load, unload, title state data. Anchor title. I should have given this a better name. 48. Okay, so we are right. So that's the width of each frame, and that's the height right there. So I think we got that right in GIMP. In fact, let me fix this right now while I'm thinking about it. Okay, transition. This I'm going to duplicate. Can I duplicate this? Copy. Oh, I can't. I have to create a new one. That's frustrating. Paste as reference. Yeah, that is frustrating. Okay, so we'll make a new one. Window capture, and this is GIMP. And I'm gonna try to be as quick as I can with this. Anchor title. Yeah, there we go. There. And try to make it the same size. Near the same size. There we go. And I can get rid of Kate here. And transition. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. So 48 is correct. Oh, and look at that. I made the background white on that. Interesting. You know what, for now, what we're going to do is I'm going to delete you, and we're going to create a new layer. Give me a new layer, and we're just going to fill it with black, like that. We need to configure our grid so we can see it. Okay, and I am going to just create a few frames here. Let's do this really bad CGA cyan. Let's do a box. This is really going to be, come on, there we go. Very rudimentary. Like that. And duplicate this layer. Actually, I'm going to make the layer exactly the size of our frame. That way when I move these, they'll be in the right place. So layer to crop to selection. There we go. Okay. Duplicate. Move it over. And I'm just going to scale this down. Let's see here. How many frames do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 frames. So we're going to do 8. Well, I should probably build the ping pong. This is just going to be a ping pong action. Let's see here. Hard edge. There we go. I'm just going to I might be wasting my time here a little too much. My goal was not to make these graphics look fancy or anything. We're going to do 8 of these as quickly as possible. Duplicate. I just want to have some sort of animation there on the title screen because I don't want to change any code today. Of course, we are doing good on time. I may change my mind on that. We'll see. Because the other thing I got to figure out with this is how I'm actually going to incorporate it into the main gameplay loop for Audit Will Be Watching. I haven't got that all. I don't have that planned out in my head entirely yet. There we go. Okay, so there's half our animation. I'm just going to merge those all down, and then we're going to flip this layer. Merge down, merge down, merge down, merge down, like that. Duplicate, layer, transform, flip horizontally. There we go. It'll have 2 frames on the big one, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. Let's export that. Export. Okay. we have our grid here again. Oh, I should have, let's see here. What did we do? We did a colors. We did a hue saturation first. I'll cancel colors. We did an invert first. Colors, and then a hue saturation, like that, and then a curves, like that, right? Yeah, that's what we did. So we can do that with this one too. Colors, let's see here. Yeah, colors, invert, hue saturation, use the last one that we used, and same thing with curves, like that. Okay, so we have that done. Export. We have this done, which is probably going to look terrible now that I see it. Here, let's change this. So let's select this color. I want to change this because our little clamp up at the top, I don't know, that may look okay. May not look too bad. I kind of want to make it a darker color. Let's try this purple. New layer. Come on. No. Oh, that kind of looks fun, doesn't it? Let's stick with that for now. Okay, our gums. What is this? What are you? I don't know if I'm using this asset in the game. Because I know I'm using this. Oh, I may not be using. Huh. Oh, I have two layers going on that sprite. This is on top of this, I'm pretty sure. Because I needed the anchor. Yes, that's what it's doing. So this, let's see here. This overlaps on top of this, I'm pretty sure. That way, when it looks like this asset, when it drops down, it'll get slotted into something. So, and what I want to do eventually is actually have it change color as well, but we won't be doing that today. So if that's overlapping, so let's change this one first. I want to do something really basic, so I'm going to create a new layer on top of this that we're going to draw on. We're going to use this teal. Oh, let's just do a box to begin with. I think we're going to do a slot on this bottom layer, like that. Yeah. Huh. Maybe we do a grid, or oh no. What we do is we do little nodes like that down here that are preferably the same size, and then these have a line. Come on, they go up to another node up here. Like that. I'm just kind of guessing on. Turn this off. Make sure I'm not accidentally drawing. Yeah, let's just draw another line out. Like that from there. And get rid of you. There we go. Okay, so that's our bottom layer. And then our top layer. Let's export that. Yeah, our top layer. is going to be, let's go ahead and use this. No, I kind of want to use a different color. Let's use this color. Add a new layer, and I want to make it a little bit narrower, more narrow, however you say that, like this. And I want it, maybe we'll play with this in code here. How wide is this? This is from 2 to 13, so it's 11. 11 pixels, that doesn't work actually. 9 to 20. If we slot it, I want to slot it in. So this isn't going to be perfect, but yeah, I want to make it look like it's slotted. We're going to add some things, more circuits or something down at the bottom. Okay, so there's that. That's going to be overlaid. Maybe we fill this. Oh yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to have this fill in with a slightly darker color. And then we're going to do circuits on top here. Or maybe we'll have a light that turns on in the final game. So let's draw a dark box that will frame our light in. And I'm just going to use a brighter color for that. I am definitely going to rebuild this palette later on, but for now, oh yeah, okay. So this isn't going to line up the first time, but the idea is going to be there. Because I think the top of this will line up with the top of this. I think that's how it is in the game right now. And so I want them to be connected at these points in some way. So maybe we expand this out one more. Come on. Like that. And then we'll have a line. Let's do it right here. Goes and connects to that. Like that. Maybe we have another CPU here. Goes like that. Little transistor of some sort. In fact, let's make it look like a transistor. Like that. And something like that. I don't know. We'll give this a little more depth. Okay, let's get rid of that bottom layer. We don't need that. Oh, we do need to fill these in with black. Forgot to do that. Save that. You do that with this one too. Okay, got that. And then what we need to do is combine these, which I assume yeah. So let's copy you over to here, like that. See, I'm relearning how I set this up. I did this a few years ago, or a year and a half ago, or something. So it's going to take a little while to figure this out. Get rid of, make it transparent. Get rid of you. Nope. Get rid of you. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna have to just play around with this until we get it to work. So I just want to make sure these are all separate layers before I commit to it, because this is going to be, yeah, it's going to be something like that. And then, because this is a finished tooth, we have to take this and we're going to palette shift this and put it in like that. So this is kind of what the final thing's going to look like. It's going to be something like this. It seems like the tooth went all the way up. Yeah. Make that transparent. Yeah, something like that. We're going to do a separate layer for the black because we need to keep everything separated while we get it to all line up. And you'll see what I mean here by all line up when I say everything needs to line up correctly once we re-export these. Okay, so that's all of our graphics. That took a little bit longer than I anticipated. It took about 10 minutes. It wasn't too bad, 10 or 12 minutes. What we need to do is we actually need to rebuild, and I think I can do that from Kate. So let me switch back over to Kate. Transition. I can do it in console. I usually do this. So my operating system is Kubuntu, and it uses the Dolphin file manager, which is really nice. I really like it because you can open up a console right below your file manager. So imagine Windows File Explorer, but in the same window, down at the bottom it has the command prompt. And that's nice when you're coding stuff and using a lot of command line tools, because when you navigate in the Explorer, it automatically changes where you are in the command prompt as well. It's really nice. There might be something like that in Windows, but I don't know. But we're going to do this all from command line, which isn't too difficult, I don't think. So I just need to take my glove off. CD, change directory. We are going into audit will be, let's see here. Yeah, audit will be watching cutscenes and act defragmenter. Graphics. Yeah, graphics. Okay, so there's all of our graphics, and you'll see here we have our GIF files that we just saved, but we need to convert those into something that the Jag can use. So if you look here, there's also these .map files. So that's the first thing we need to do. So there is an image converter, which I think Seb just calls converter. I call it the Jag image converter. In fact, let's see what he calls it. I'm not sure what he calls it. We can actually see Jag image converter. That's or Jaguar image converter. That is what he calls it. And we need, these are 8-bit images, so we need to tell it that they need to have a color lookup table. They are going to be binary files. That's what those .map why can't I spell binary? There we go. And they're RGB. They're not cry. If you know anything about, do those need a double dash? Yeah, I think they do. RGB. We also want to turn off dithering, because by default I think he has dithering turned on. And then one more flag we have to give it is overwrite, because there's existing files. And we can tell it to just loop over all the GIF files with a wildcard. That's what the asterisk is for. And it didn't work because I got one of my dashes wrong. Yeah, RGB doesn't need a double dash. There we go. And so when it says loading file, that means it was successful. And it went through and it replaced all of our map files. If we take a look at this though, you'll see that we have these .lz77. These are compressed files, and so what we have to do is recompress these. This is a bit tricky. I think I have... give me a second. I'm going to go look. At one point, I had a command that just loops through everything and converts it all. But I need to find that. Give me just a second. Let's search .sh. Oh, that didn't help. .sh. Oh, let's see how good Will's bash scripting is. So we want to do a for loop and give it a variable, which is, we'll just call it p, in star.map. Oh, the hard part is getting the base name. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do this manually. So LZ77, I'm not gonna waste time figuring out the code for that. So anchor drop. This is gonna take a little while, but I don't think it's gonna take as long. Anchor drop title.lz77. That should just work. And what's cool about this is it shows you the ratio. So our new file is 15% of what it was before, which is really cool. I think I'm doing that across all my games right now. I am compressing. I decided to do that from the start, and so it made things a little bit easier. So LZ77p anchor.map anchor.lz77. Oh, I need that p. There we go. ls. Okay, we got anchor. There's really not as many files or as many things we need to compress as it looks. Anchor title dot. It's just there's a bunch of different versions of the same file, plus a palette file for each graphic, which we don't technically need. It's just what's generated by the Jag image converter utility that we just use. There's that. We need our clamp dot map clamp.lz77. That. And what's next? LZ clamp count. We don't need to change our countdown timer. Grid background. Dot grid background. Grid background. Got that. Grid background. Grid BG game over. BG game. Oh, whoops. Game over. And then gum back. Gum back. Gum filled. Should have prepped a little script that does this automatically. I can't use wildcards for this because there's a little bit of bash scripting you have to do to isolate the file name and all that jazz, and that's why I'm doing this manually. And I don't have it built into the make file. There was a make file I had a while ago that did have this built in, but there was something I was still working on. Oh, we didn't change the rail. Well, we won't worry about that. Front right now. Gum front, got gum back, gum filled, gum front. We'll do the rail soon. And south implant is the last one. South implant. South. I'm having to look past my microphone here. That's why I'm kind of moving. Okay. CD dot dot slash dot 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 slash slash dot dot slash dot dot slash dot dot. That should put us, yeah. And bash build ROM VJ. That should give us, should just build because we didn't change any code. Oh, some of it worked. There's a background I still need to change. Yeah, there we go. It looks terrible, but it is working. Like that. So that's what I mean by line up. So the on our completed one, it isn't quite. In fact, we're going to change the color on that too. But and our background color and everything looks wrong as well. So let's go change those really quick. Switch back over to GIMP. So our little chip thing went down to there, if I recall correctly. We can re-export that. We're going to have to rebuild all that. I really should figure out that loop. That's okay. Okay, so that's exported. Let's bring in our rails. We didn't change those. So rail. What is our rail? Is very, very simple. In fact, I'm going to make it look very similar to this. Where's my pen? There's my pen. And the rail. I should probably make this look better at some point. But we're just going to keep it simple. And B, there we go. Export that. Okay, so we need to do our redo our filled. Switch back over to Kate. CD, and I'm going to do this with one command. Audit will be watching. Cutscenes. Act. Debug. Graphics. Like that. And we need to run our Jag image converter command again to convert everything. And then we need to run to compress our rail. Like that. And our filled. Gum filled. Gum. I think that's the right one. It sounds right. If I name things correctly, that should be right. Okay. And then we can go back to here and run our build. You guys still seeing all that? Yeah, good. It's all coming up still. Just like that. We still need to figure out our background. I don't know why our title screen isn't working. But this should look fine now. Like that. Cool. Those are all lined up. And I'm actually going to change the gum filled one more time. I want to change the color of the chip here. So colors, hue saturation, I'm just going to change it to a different hue just so we can tell that it's a different. It's kind of, so green is a good color for that. In fact, we may change this a little bit, our bottom circuit board a little bit. Maybe we'll change that to green as well. I don't know, kind of like maybe a blue. I like that. So export that again, and then we have to do it here as well. Oh, we don't have to. We don't have to do it, but I feel like we need to. There we go. Okay, that's gum back and gum filled that we have to redo. Jag, run that, and gum filled and gum back, like that, back. Okay, so that should give us what we want in terms of color changes. Let's take a look. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we need to change our background color. Well, that kind of looks cool up at the top, doesn't it? This isn't too bad. I do want to, I think I may want to give some things kind of a glow, but yeah, so what I'm thinking is when it drops in, it actually changes to a green one. And I also want to do, are those level? Yeah, those are level, aren't they? Yeah, they're level. I want to, so it kind of just pops into place when it successfully drops. I actually want to create a little bit of an animation between that eventually. But that will be a polish for later. Okay, let's figure out why our title screen hasn't changed. Let me go look at the files here really quick. 3 graphics, or not graphics, cutscenes. I know you can't see this. Anchor drop title. Did I not open that? Anchor drop. Oh, I didn't save it. There we go. Do that and then convert it. Oh, I wish I had my remote. It would make things so much easier. Sorry, you guys didn't see that, but no, I shouldn't have transitioned. There we go. Let's go back. Go back here, run our Jag image converter again, and then we need to anchor drop title. Anchor drop title. There we go. Did I miss it? Yeah, I missed it. Make sure that that's switched over. There we go, that's switched over. Okay, let's change some things really quick. So this title we can bump up. Let's see here. Sprite Y. Anchor drop title object. Oh, that is a different thing. Change sprite layer. I just did it back. That's interesting. I wonder why I did that. Let's just bump this up to like 60 for now. And our background color, we need to figure out our background color. There should be a reference to the background color at some point. It's probably in here. Club 1 white. Black. Oh, it's not here. Let's do, this is gonna suck because it's gonna show us, oh no. We need to just search for white, like that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, finish state. Right there. Fade background color. We need to change this to black. Need to change this to black. All these need to be changed to black. I'm just going to switch these all to black. This is our background color. And see what it looks like. My guess is it won't be perfect. That's our white palette. That's our red palette. I'm not sure why I have a red palette. Yeah, let's give that a try. That should get things looking a little bit better. except for our title screen for some reason. That is bizarre. Why is that going to white? In fact, shouldn't that whole thing... We change the background color. Actually don't know why it's doing that. Let's do this. Let's see if this is being referenced anywhere else. Oh, it is in a few places. White palette, live fade. Fade background color to black. Fade to white palette. Do I have a black palette that I can fade to? Oh, all over the place. Do I have it in defragmenter is the question. Looks like I do. So let's search our white palette. White pal. Like that. And swap that out for our black palette. Yeah. Oh, where was that? Yeah, we're fine. Fade to black. This will probably all change eventually. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see here. And then I load in the black. Why am I doing that? That is kind of a waste of time. That's okay. Okay, let's see if that helped. Actually, this might screw everything up. Oh, no. There we go. I don't know why. Oh, it's because of that value I changed under the title screen. I changed the wrong value somewhere. Oh, it's not there. Title state. Oh, graphics. That's where I was setting that. Load title screen right here. Yeah, so that needs to remain 120. Let's just set this. Sorry, I forgot to close down the emulator there. There we go. That's better. Okay, press any button to start. There we go. That looks a little bit better. The colors are a bit extreme, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to narrow the playing field quite a bit. Oh, you know what? We have a problem here. I don't know. This may still work. It's actually kind of a fun little mini game. It's addictive. Ah, nice. And it's deceivingly hard. Anyways, let's see how it handles the transition here. Oh, it just goes to black. Maybe we still go to white on that transition. I don't know. Let's see here. Let's go check that out. Let's see if we can send that back to white. That would be game state. So fade everything to white and then hide and remove what we don't need. White. So let's switch that back to white palette. And I can't spell white. There we go. That's done there. And then when we go to our finish state where the score is shown, we fade back, it looks like right there. Anchor color palette. And the background color is being faded to black. Fade everything to white and then hide and remove what we don't need. Maybe we're going to still do this fade to white. I don't know. it looks like there may be quite a bit of reworking of the graphics here to get these fades to work correctly. We'll see. Let's take a look at this really quick. Yeah, see, it isn't working there either. That fade to black. Let's see how the fade to white works. Oh, of course. Of course. Now I'm getting them. There we go. Boom. Oh, it still didn't work. Why didn't that work? That should be working better, actually. Let's see here. Fade background color. That's a function for specifically fading the background color. Oh, this needs to go to white as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Let's just go back to this. That's fine. That's fine. White pal. Counter anchor color palette. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just try doing it on the title state. Okay. Fade down to palette. So we're fading down from white. Where did I set that? I probably set that not there. I set it, there's the title state. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, here. Yeah, so this, white palette. So the important part is that we're fading the background. Well, it's gonna look like garbage anyways. Load color palette. So what I don't understand is why I'm loading in. Oh, it's the direction I'm fading. My functions, it's been a while since I've looked at these fade functions. It's been a while. I think there's just a boolean, a flag that I need to set. So let's go to the title state. We can test this out. So live fade. So yeah, right here. I'm pretty sure it's this flag. Let's look up this function. Since it's been a long time since I've looked at it, I should be packed into its own, yeah, screen tools right there. Fade type. Yep, that's what's going on. Let's go take a look. So live fade up or down. Where's fade type? Fade up palette. So we need to fade up instead of fade down. Right now we're fading down because it's set to 1. So if we go here, we need to fade up because everything is black. Yeah. Pretty sure that's what's going on. And this needs to fade down to black right there. Fade everything. While we're at it, let's change our comments. Fade up to palette. And let's test that really quick before we do the rest of them. This should fix the title screen. Yeah, there we go. And it should fade down, and then we got to fix it once it goes into that state, but I think we have it. So we go here, we find our other fades. Fade up, fade up. Actually, the background color we don't even need to worry about now. We could technically get rid of this, but we're going to leave it because it isn't going to do anything anyways. There's that, and this needs to be changed to 0 as well. And then our finished state, we're fading up again, and we're fading, what's this? Fade everything to white and then hide and remove what we don't need. Is this, yeah, this is, we're leaving this state. So we need to go to black palette. That's what it was, right? It was black pal. And then this goes to black as well. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we'll keep this in case we want to do a different background color, which we might do. We'll see. That should fix everything, actually. Let me make sure we did black pal data. Yeah, I knew that wasn't quite right. Black pal data. There we go. I should go change the white palette to that too, but we may not be using the white palette, so I'll be probably stripping a lot of that code out eventually once I do get around to some housekeeping. We're not going to worry about that right now because we only have 10 minutes left, so... Yeah, there we go. Got our countdown going. Nice. Okay, we're testing the finished state because everything else seems to be working fine. So let's hit all these existing. You know what I should do? When you hit an existing chip or piece of data, it actually breaks it and makes things worse for you. Oh, that still didn't work. There's something not quite right. Let's go to our game state, make sure we're doing everything there. So we're fading down, fading up. There's our problem. To black palette data. That should, I think that'll fix everything. With that, let's check our finished state one more time. We're fading up to our anchor color palette. Yeah, that's fine. So we should be fine there. Test this one more time. Should probably go change the counter at some point. One other thing I did want to do during this stream was actually paint a border for this that represents the back of the robot. Oh, by the way, his name has changed, and it was actually the suggestion of somebody on the stream. I can't remember the name. Oh, it still didn't work. Why did it suddenly go to black? It shouldn't be doing that. Game state. Okay, where's our lose state? There's probably a lose state here. Launch or a game over. Game. Exit game. Has the timer. Okay, right here. They're all right here. Defrag update time with current time. Okay, we're fine there. Yeah, it's just right here. Something's fade to background color. If fade tracker, I don't think I need to worry about these fade trackers. Update timer black palette data. Do I need, oh, I may need a ampersand there because our white palette is a defined array here in our code, whereas the black palette data is an external piece of data that we're bringing in, which I should just pick one way or the other. So confusing things like this don't happen. In fact, let's go and check everything here. Intro. Live fade. I just gotta make sure I'm not looking at another game. Well, we're probably fine. Let's see here. Defrag. Where are you? We should see. Oh, this is. Oops. This is what I wanted. There we go. I'm referencing it with an ampersand here, but not here. That's funny. That's going to be a problem. Maybe I should look at, see what a terminal says, see if it's throwing any errors for any of that in here somewhere. It says everything's fine. Huh. Let's build it one more time. Okay, that's all working fine. I should set the timer so. Fail, one more. It's still doing it. Well, I'll have to take at least it's fading up correctly there. For some reason it's not fading down correctly from when we actually lose. I'm not sure why. Anyways, but we're gonna have to leave it there. I'll fix this after the stream is done. I gotta cut off the stream. I gotta get breakfast too, so I'm gonna do that. Anyways, if anybody is still there, I haven't looked at the statistics to see if anybody's there. Oh yeah, there's somebody watching the stream. Thanks for watching. Let me switch over to the big screen. Uh, let's play camera large. Yeah, let's transition to that. Yeah, cool. Okay. Anyways, thanks for watching. Um, I uh, I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully, it wasn't too boring. I'm a little worried that these programming things are going to be a little bit boring, but I know people just like to hear a voice in the background too sometimes when they're working or getting ready to go to bed, like Stage One Boss. Um, but yeah, thanks for joining me for this JagCorner. Sorry I didn't do the stream yesterday evening. Something that I had previously planned was came back up. I was reminded of, and so I was taking part in that, and that's why I didn't do the stream yesterday. Um, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm either going to be this. I'm going to do this regularly Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'll probably make an announcement at the beginning of the week or something, or just schedule it on YouTube. Anyways, but that's what I'm going to do. From now on. But please like and subscribe if you want to be notified, and if you want to just be keep up to date with when I post videos on the channel or if I do live streams. I also have JagCorner.com, which is just the main page. There's a newsletter you can sign up for. That's for more exclusive content. And then Facebook and Twitter. I whenever I do the live streams, I always push out to there. So that's another way to get notified if you're more comfortable with that. I also have an Instagram. Again, follow me there if you want to see my art. I haven't posted it in a while, and that's because I'm kind of strategizing my posting there. I'm building up enough content for about a year, and then I'll start posting again. But there's a lot of Atari artwork on there. I also do artwork that isn't Atari related, and so if you're not interested in that, maybe Instagram isn't the best choice. But if you want to see kind of sketches and of Atari artwork that I'm working on and other projects that are outside of Atari and orbiting around Atari, I post that stuff there. Anyways, thanks again for joining me here on the JagCorner, and we will see you next week.